Hello and welcome to episode 189 of That King Thing, the gaming podcast hosted by us, the King brothers. I am the eldest sibling and your host, Thomas, and I am joined by middle sibling Joshua.
Hi.
And littlest sibling James.
Hi.
James will be giving me live updates on the Manchester United Tottenham Hotspur game.
I will indeed. Because I'm watching it on Amazon.
Yeah, me as well, technically. But that's a different story for a different time. Let's talk video games.
And a different podcast.
Yes. Let's talk video games on this podcast. Who's been playing what this week? Who's going first?
I'll go first. I played Far Cry Primal.
Oh, you booted that back. Booted that back up. I saw you tweet.
Sounds like you just turned your Xbox on.
I saw you tweet. I think it was a tweet, or was it a Facebook comment? I saw something from you, and you were referencing one of the tribes that happened to be in the quiz. That was one of the languages I was talking about in the quiz the other week.
Wenja.
Yeah. And I noticed that you mentioned that. I didn't know if it was just coincidence or if it was intentional. Or was it maybe in Discord, actually, you were talking about?
I think it was in Discord.
Could have been in Discord. I've just seen somewhere at some point you socialising with people.
I was socialising.
You were socialising with people somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
What's
I never properly got into Primal. What's that?
No, Joshua, this isn't Fable.
Hero,
Hero, your social accounts are low. What's that? Your retweet level is low. What's that?
But yeah, I never really got into Primal as much as I should have. So I thought, fuck it,
Yeah, going back to it.
Give it a go.
On a couple of the other Far Cries on Game Pass these days.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh,
I really couldn't tell you.
Thought they were. So you've been playing Primal. How have you found it?
Aye.
Easy enough to get back
decent.
into? Because it's very different,
Yeah,
isn't it, Primal, with the fact that it's the prehistoric one?
No one speaks. It's all subtitles.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're obviously using
Speaking language.
the prehistoric languages, aren't they? They're speaking Wangja or whatever you said it's called. That one.
Wenja.
Language.
See, I wrote the quiz and I can't even remember it.
Udam.
Udam. Is that a version of cheese?
Joshua, how about you, if that's James's week?
I have played a couple games that I think are new to Xbox Game Pass. So there's a new downhill biking game on there, Thomas, which you might be interested in.
Is this the one that we've been sent the challenge on?
I'm not sure. Is that in the incomings for this week?
Socializing, brother. What's that?
Joshua, your WhatsApp activity is low.
What's that? 1 sec then. 1 sec. Thomas, you go while I just quickly read WhatsApp so I can pretend like I knew what I ran about.
No, because mine's going to last
way.
forever because I've been playing Pokemon Sword like solidly all week since the last podcast. Solid.
I've played that bike game thing that you went about, the downhill bike thing.
It's fun. Yeah. I enjoy it. I've only played a couple levels and done some challenges on it, but I've not got into it that much yet.
Well, we've been challenged to do a particular level with a particular bike and beat a particular time by one Paul Kelso.
Hi, Paul. I've just got to say as well, that is a very respectable time.
Why have you done that level with that bike? And
I've attempted it, and I'm getting like 2.5 minutes. I've only had 3 runs at it though.
What's the time? Like 1 minute 52.
Well, 58.
Well, yeah, I've played.
Just to defend myself though, I had a child in my arms.
Is that what that you were holding her to defend yourself? Yeah. What from? She's not going to do much.
No, she was riding a bike.
No wonder you only got 2.5 minutes. You're letting her steer.
I've also played something called Dead Cells, which is like it's a
skin cell game.
He's going to talk about Dead Cells like nobody knows what it is. You do remember the huge controversy of last year, right? With the plagiarized review for Dead Cells,
where
the guy got completely torn to shreds on the internet, and then everyone found out that every review he'd ever written was plagiarized from
I
someone
remember
much
that.
smaller than
I
him.
couldn't remember it being
That was
the
the
Dead
whole
Cells
thing.
one that was thingy. But yeah, I played
Yeah,
quite
it
a
was
bit of
Dead Cells.
earlier today as well. I've been off work for once today. Played some more Space Engineers where I'm building my own like massive hangar ship now, so that I can go into.
Stop playing them things and play Elder Scrolls and Guild Wars.
I was just saying, I enjoy
Jeez.
Space Engineers. It's fun.
Play the good games, bro. Play the good
And
games.
I've
Don't play rubbish.
I make fire.
I've installed Master Chief Collection again to play through Reach and ODST because I've not played those two remastered yet. So I'm planning on doing that.
Well, Reach has come out on Steam
Yeah, I think
in
it
the last
has,
couple of days. I think
Is it
yesterday.
Is it a newer version of it, or is it the
I'm interested.
original?
Well, no, it's just Reach. It's like the
Yeah.
remastered Master Chief Collection version of Reach.
Oh, they're included in Game Pass now.
Um,
Those two add-ons, so I've just added.
Yeah,
them
well,
on and
that's the other thing I was
installed it.
interested to know is if because I've got the MCC on Xbox, I was wondering if I could play on PC.
I think
then
you can.
pump the graphics even higher. Get him
Yeah.
higher and higher. That's an always sunny in
Yeah, I've
Philadelphia
reinstalled
reference.
that anyway to play it. But I haven't done that yet, and I've not played much Rocket League at all, to be honest with you,
Oh,
recently. But
cool.
I do plan on playing that later on tonight. But my TV threw a fit earlier and broke in the living room, so I've had to move the Xbox upstairs to deal with TV.
No, Joshua, you throwing things at the TV does not count
No,
as
it
the TV
didn't.
throwing
I
a
wasn't
fit.
even home when it broke. So if it
Sammy
was
throwing
someone who threw
things at the
something-
TV does not count
Yeah.
as the TV
Well,
throwing a
she
fit.
rang me while I was out earlier with
Did she finish second on Fortnite?
possibly
Second, she can't even get top 10.
She's been playing
Ooh.
Red Dead recently. She's been playing Red Dead 2, so a little bit more respect.
What do you get angry about?
Your
nothing-
horse. I played on it for 5 minutes the other day and ran a little bit through someone's garden. The horse jumped over the spiky fence as it was supposed to do, but then stopped halfway and impaled itself on a fence.
What's
got
your
pretty
fault
mad
for
at
running through
that.
someone's garden?
Yeah, but it just didn't stay in the air. It just lagged a bit and it fell down
Go
onto the fence.
around. Go around.
I was running from the law.
Well, running through someone's garden's not the best way to do it on horseback, is it?
At least it
So-
weren't a carriage. That would have been a right pile up.
Well, you wouldn't have got through the garden if it was a carriage.
No, that's probably true as well. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. Loads
Okay.
of random bollocks.
Well, I've killed a lot of dragons in Elder Scrolls just because it's another event, so I'm earning tickets for mounts and shit like that, event tickets. But most of my time has definitely been consumed by Pokemon this week. Like, to the point that within 48 hours, I'd like finished the main gym. I basically sat all weekend doing nothing but play Pokemon. Like, seriously. I even took it babysitting with me and taught children about Pokemon. Basically based on the fact that they look
That's the
like
best way.
animals. So I went, look, this one looks like a dog. And this one looks like a rabbit. So I got the response of, dog? Rabbit? I'm like, yep. That is what they are, but they're Pokemon. This one's actually called something else. I don't even know what they're all called. I've lost... Because I've got, like, affectionate nicknames for them, like Fire Bunny and Thunder Dog. I don't know their real names. Pretty much the only one I know the real name of is Sobble. And that's because it's that weird little tadpole thing that's the starter Pokemon.
Oh, there's the
And-
sad-looking one.
Yeah, he's a sad... And then he turns into, like, an emo gecko lizard thing.
Yeah.
And I just call him Emo Lizard in that phase. I don't even know his name. Yeah, I was just
Emo
calling him
Lizard.
Emo Lizard. So they've all got like affectionate names that I call them, and I don't remember the real names. So, but Electro Dog, Fire Bunny, Tree Monkey, and Emo Lizard are a very good team. It's basically like having Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and Pikachu. That's basically what I've got. Just the 2019 edition, and I just alternate between them and like destroy everyone. It's fun. But yeah, the game is really good. I've always been skeptical because I've not properly enjoyed a Pokemon since the original like Red, Blue, Yellow. I didn't mind Gold and Silver when it went to Game Boy Color, but like they weren't. I still wasn't as interested in them as I was other stuff earlier in the series. So it's been a long time since I've even thought about buying a Pokemon game, let alone playing one. And I took the risk on it of like everyone saying how good it is. It looks really good from what I've seen. I'm gonna buy it, and it was worth it. Like I've got so much time spent in it already, just from dicking around and following the main story.
Did you not also get Let's Go, Pikachu or Eevee?
I tried Let's Go, and I fucking hated it. Absolutely hated it. Because every time you find a Pokemon, like, okay, so I like the art style and the way that the game played, but I absolutely hated the fact that when you encountered something wild, it turned into Pokemon Go and not proper Pokemon. And you don't battle anything in Let's Go. You just Pokemon Go catch it.
You battle other trainers, don't you? But you don't battle other wild Pokemon.
Is it Pokemon Go? It is, isn't it? It's Pokemon Go.
Let's Go. And...
Let's Go. No, Pokemon Go as in the thing on your phone.
Yeah, that's Pokemon Go. Let's Go is
so whenever you catch a Pokemon on Let's Go, it's basically the same as like finding one on Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
like it's just a weird thing on the screen. I find it really boring. And like the thing that I enjoy about Pokemon is the same reason I enjoy the Final Fantasy games, like the older ones specifically, is the fact that you have to get your team right to match up against who or whatever you're fighting, because there's type matching, and it's about like this person uses a lot of ice Pokemon, so I'm going to use fire Pokemon, and it was like I'm going through the ice caverns in Final Fantasy, so I'm going to take Vivi because he's a pyro wizard. Do you know what I mean? He's a black mage that uses pyro abilities. Like it's about the strategy of using the right people in the right situation, and you just didn't have that in Let's Go. And
let's face it. On Final Fantasy, if you didn't have Vivi in your team, you're doing something wrong anyway.
Well, yeah, but like the synergies in Final Fantasy 9 were pretty cool. Were like, if you had Steiner and Vivi in your team, you made Pyro Sword, which basically made Steiner more effective against things that were weak to fire. And you've got that element in like Pokemon where you can do like a battlefield effect, so you can like create a sandstorm. And if you create a sandstorm, it damages things that aren't like ground rock and something else, maybe steel. And then it empowers ground moves as well. So like if you've got two ground Pokemon and you're fighting against two that aren't, one casts Sandstorm and you're buffing each other.
I'm pretty sure it might make it difficult for him to do stuff like fly as well or something like that.
Yeah, you've got different things like that as well. But he's watching football. That is a great goal.
Yes,
that is a great goal.
Dele Alli.
I was watching the same thing on my other monitor,
again.
so I'm just pointing out that was an insane goal. But yeah,
Pokemon. I'm with you, Pokemon. Listeners. I don't know what they're on about either.
Pokemon Sword has been really good lately, and I've got to say, like, a bit of a thank you to Nats, because Nats had it longer than me, and she got to the point where she was like breeding Pokemon quite heavily when I started playing it, and she's bred the starter Pokemon a few times.
I like bread,
and that's why I've got all three starter Pokemon, because she bred through them and then gave me the two that I was missing.
I have a couple questions for you about it. What Pokemon can you trade to it and where from? Because you can't get a Dratini, Dragonair, or Dragonite on.
I don't know. As far as I know, you just trade between each other.
And also, can you have more than one save game on the cartridge to use more than one profile on it? Because previous Pokemon games, it's your game, that's it. You've only got one slot.
No, I think you can have more than one save, but honestly, I've not got that far and checked yet.
If you could check, that would be awesome, because I've not looked online for any info on it, and I don't want to get just one copy of a game and have it deleted when Sammy wants to go.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what. I'll check after the episode, because my Switch isn't next to me, which reminds me I should really go get it to charge it, because it's nearly flat because I was playing it in bed, as I have been a lot lately, just like into the middle of the night playing Pokemon. So yeah, but that's been my week. A lot of Pokemon, and I would highly recommend it. If anyone has been on the fence about it up to now, I would highly recommend it. So,
I'd just get down, just get off the fence. Must it be?
well, it depends on what kind of fence you sat on and how you sat on it. To be totally honest,
Is it metal? Is it wood?
True.
Who knows?
Has it gone through you and impaled you like
Yeah.
Joshua's horse?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Can you jump over it in one leap, or are you gonna get stuck halfway?
On a side note,
By your
let's
box.
do some news.
News. What's that?
Coming over the hill.
It's the news. It's the news.
Yeah. One possibly for James. Resident Evil 3 remake was kind of confirmed as being worked on, but has been like leaked officially through the PSN of all things. There's a site called I'll have to check what it's called because I've completely forgotten. GameStat. And what it basically does is it just trolls through like the data feeds for PSN and shows any new games that have been added to it. So it like kind of helps you catch indie titles and stuff like that, or games that might be available in other regions that you wouldn't normally see, that kind of thing. And on it there was a game called Biohazard Resident Evil 3, and it had a picture of the cover as well, which was a remaster with reworked characters and stuff like that. That is very clearly what it was. So the website does still show the listing of the 3 versions of the game because there were different versions of it as well. So like there's a Z version, which I'm guessing is like a special edition version or something where you've got extras and stuff like that. But the listing is kind of still half there, but the pictures that are incriminating as it being a remaster are removed, so it half exists still. But yeah, it's very interesting that it's come about, and I think that after the success of Resident Evil 2, they'd probably be a bit daft to not do some of the others. Do you not think?
No, I think they should just go through them all. By the time they get round to doing the next one, it'll be older, if that makes sense. So, well, do you know what I mean? Though they're on number 3 now, so by the time they get around to doing number 4, that'll be even older. And then when they get around to doing number 5, that'll be. Do you get what I mean? So I'll just get shut up and carry on watching match.
There's supposed to be an official announcement for the Resident Evil 3 remake, but obviously this has kind of scuppered it a little bit. But the artwork does look pretty cool. Like, although Nemesis on it does look a little bit weird. I don't know if you've actually seen it, but his teeth are a bit weird. So
don't look right.
Who was it? Who was in 3 against Nemesis? It was Jill, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jill.
Who's with Jill on that one? I can't remember who it is.
Is she not just on a Todd?
I thought there was a dude as well. Maybe not. Maybe it is just Jill. I can't remember. It's definitely not your beloved Chris, though, is it?
No, it needs to be an add-on or something.
Needs to be an add-on.
It's at least 16 gig to load that bad boy in.
Just for James. James King edition.
Yeah, that's what that special edition is. Yeah, it's just for... it's just for you, James.
Hope he got his tiger stripe outfit.
Yeah, defo. He's definitely gonna.
Roar. Did I just make Joshua spill drink?
No. Just giggling at you, like getting turned on by Chris Redfield in background.
Do you know what I've just realised about Chris Redfield? Just randomly sort of thinking
He has
about
a
it.
small head for his large body.
But do you know who played him in one of the films?
Oh, he's got a big head. Some big muscly guy.
I'll Google it now because I want to know.
It was Wentworth Miller who was Michael Schofield in Prison Break, among other things.
I don't know who that is.
You would. It's the dude absolutely caked in tattoos in Prison Break.
But Chris Redfield has no tattoos.
Oh my!
Yeah, his tattoos in Prison Break aren't real, James.
He also gets them
I've
removed
not watched Prison.
perfectly.
Yeah, that's because the art studio couldn't be asked to keep putting tattoos on him. So they were just like, okay, let's write into the script that he's had laser surgery to remove him now.
I have new skin.
We're getting sidetracked.
Good news for you, James. The guy who played Chris Redfield in the films is homosexual.
He is. Yeah,
I know.
just
for
Lilith
James.
Miller is out and proud. So, James, if
Out
you're
and
interested,
proud.
like he would possibly consider it. I guess. Can't hurt to
Not
ask.
possibly about it.
I don't think he's seen anyone. If you're interested, I don't know what Kate had
Give
to
me
say
that
about
number.
it, but
Should be alright.
it should be all right. So that's cool. Moving on, Codemasters have acquired Slightly Mad Studios, which basically just adds yet another racing franchise to their vast array in Project Cars. What they've basically said is that as part of acquiring Slightly Mad is to take on Project Cars and it become part of the Codemasters library, if you will, of games. So like
off people who've made Project Cars, because it is still a good game.
Acquiring them would usually mean that they stay as a studio, but it will have Codemasters direction from now on. Which, to be fair, is possibly one of the things that Project Cars needs, because it's a very, very good simulator game, but it needs polishing and fine tuning, which I'd hope Codemasters can help them with.
Overcomplicating, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think Codemasters could probably help them with that.
Yeah.
You'd be slightly mad to think otherwise.
There was another thing in the announcement that caught my attention that I need to try and work out what it is, but it said, I'm going to read it word for word. It says, the agreement cements Codemasters' position as a world-leading games developer and expands its portfolio to include the award-winning Project Cars together with an unannounced Hollywood blockbuster title. So Slightly Mad were working on something that Codemasters have taken on, but I can't work out what it is. Especially because it uses the word
it's not a Fast
Hollywood.
And Furious game.
It could be, I guess, maybe a Fast and Furious game, maybe. Because Slightly Mad did work on a couple of the Need for Speeds for EA in the past.
Yeah.
So they've worked on some of them. I can't remember which ones, but they have worked on them in recent times. So it might be something like that. I don't know. But it means Codemasters have got a very good selection of driving games these days. When you've got the official F1 game, you've got Grid, you've got Dirt, and then you've now got Project Cars. You've got a huge amount of bases covered there in terms of driving games and simulator games. So, and like I say, I'd hope that it would help polish a new Project Cars game if that's what the plan is.
Yeah, well, Cody have been at it for ages.
Cody know exactly what they're doing with it. Like, well, think about how good games like Dirt, Grid, and the F1 game is each year.
Exactly.
Like, they're always on point. And don't get me wrong, like, they have the weird quirks and stuff like that, like any game, but they do well at dealing with that stuff and making sure it's sorted. So, I'd be interested to see how that goes. On another note, Google are issuing refunds for Farming Simulator and Tomb Raider the Definitive Edition because they've added them to their Pro subscription for free, and a number of people had already bought them and paid full price for them.
Why are people not getting money off of the deal that came with Destiny 2, considering it's free now?
What?
Well, Destiny 2 is free to play now.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with Google. That's not Google's fault.
No, they were selling Stadia with a copy of Destiny 2, weren't they? Did that fully include?
It's because you get everything. It's
because
you get all the DLCs, as far as I know.
I couldn't remember if we'd covered that or not.
And they weren't selling it with a copy of Destiny 2. They were saying Destiny 2 will be available inclusive from launch. And I believe that is because the DLCs are included in it. But I don't own Stadia, and I haven't looked, so I don't really care.
Like, I don't think I'm ever going to care about Stadia, ever.
Well, this brings us nicely to the point that we sort of touched on before recording because of the Amazon football thing. So Amazon have recently bought a huge number of rights to stream Premier League football here in the UK. Well, you might be able to watch it globally, I don't know, but it's Premier League football.
It is blissful.
And I'm still amazed that I can watch that many Premier League games in my $7.99 Amazon Prime.
I can watch them, and I don't even care.
But the other thing is that it made me start thinking about the fact that, like, Amazon have been throwing around the thing of, well, we're going to do our own gaming thing to compete with Stadia anyway. We've got our own version. And honestly, I've not really looked into it yet, but I've just seen an advert for the Grand Tour Seaman.
Yeah.
Sorry, that really distracted me because it came up on screen really big. It said, the Grand Tour Seaman. Yeah, so they basically said that, you know, we've got our own Stadia thing in the works and we'll sort it. But honestly, if they threw a game streaming service into Prime alongside live sports and the video streaming that they've already got, and then the delivery service, they will slowly take over the world. Like,
yeah, I'm going to say, fuck 2042, it's 2056.
2056, Amazon takeover.
I have used Amazon Prime in the past week or two for Christmas shopping more than I ever have, and we've been watching fucking videos and everything. If there are games on it as well, I'd use Amazon every single day.
Well, this is the thing, like,
every day.
Generally, the idea of a streaming video game service doesn't appeal to me because I'd use it here at home, and I see no point in that when I have the PC that I do and the consoles that I do. So it's, I don't know, the idea of a Stadia just doesn't appeal to me at the moment. But when I think about the fact that I'd maybe want to take something with me on the go, it sort of appeals to me a little bit, but I've kind of got my Switch for that at the minute. So it's, I don't know, it's a weird one for me at the minute, but it being included in a service I'm already paying for means it'd be a no-brainer to at least consider it. Like,
yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of getting sidetracked. Like, the whole point was supposed to be that Google have started including more games. Essentially, what the Google are doing is they're doing like you know, like games with gold, where you get a couple of free games every month because you've got an Xbox Gold subscription, and if you don't claim them, you miss them. But if you do, they're yours. As far as I know, that's what they're doing with this Farming Simulator and Tomb Raider thing. So if you claim them during December, then you get them.
It's good though because they've got a very select few amount of games.
I know they're going to run out of games pretty quick.
No matter which games they picked, they were going to have to do refunds for any of them.
But this is the thing: like, people are obviously pissed that they've bought Tomb Raider Definitive or Farming Simulator Platinum, and then it's gone on the free thing. And I think, obviously, if you buy a game and then in a few months it ends up on Games with Gold or, you know, EA Access or whatever service it is you subscribe to, that's just the price you pay for buying it early, buying it on, like, well, but that's the price you pay for, like, buying it on release. And if it's 6 to 12 months or so down the line, it's available on another service, then you kind of think, well, I have had it for 6 months, and you like, I kind of don't think about that. But for it to have been like 6 days since you bought it on a brand new console system or whatever you want to call Stadia, and then suddenly it's free, it's obviously pissed a lot of people off.
It's like I bought Darksiders 3 this time last year. It's free now. It's on Xbox Gold. I don't care.
Yeah, but that's a year ago, and that's what I mean. Yeah, that's exactly the difference. That's the sort of difference in it. And it's exactly the same as, like, games with expansions, where, like, they have DLC or expansions, and what they do with it is, if you want that at release, you buy the expansion. But then in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is, when the new one comes out, the old one becomes free and included as part of, like, the base game, and everybody gets it. And a lot of games work on that model, and I find that a good model, because what it means is that eventually everybody will get the content, and you don't have to be throwing money at a game to play it. But those that want it immediately can pay the premium to get it, like, on release. And I don't see that being an issue, really, if I'm honest. But obviously, putting it free like a week after they've just put it on sale is a bit But they have said that they will refund people if they want it, and you've just got to ask for the refund. So
Just wait till next month when they've got to do the same.
yeah, when they're doing it again, and then again, and then when they've run out of games, because Stadia's got no games. And then last thing for this week, there is a bit of news regarding a Rocket League thing that Craig Mitchell sent us, but I don't understand it, so I'm going to make Joshua explain it. And Joshua probably doesn't even know about it.
Are you on about the blueprints system that's now on?
It was something to do with banning people for hoarding keys or something. I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh well, that's.
I've
Thanks,
not
Craig.
played it. I've not had time to play it, so I've not kept up with it. So
Thanks for trying to keep us in the loop, Craig. But Joshua's got his finger right on the pulse of nothing, so we can't talk about it.
Where is it? Is it on Discord?
He put it on WhatsApp.
Psionics/Epic are perma-banning traders who have hoarded mass amounts of keys, items, and manipulated market prices, mainly targeting those who sell items for pounds, such as those who buy and sell keys. Thank you, Craig.
So basically, while they're doing the conversion of keys into credits for the new update, they are taking note of people who have stockpiled either crates or keys because they don't want people doing that, apparently, even though that's part of the game. If you've got a load of crates because you've never opened one, you are on their list.
I think it's more people that have been cash trading them
keys.
that they've got issues with by the sounds of that.
Yeah. But it's all changed now anyway because Blueprint's being out as of now. So I'll have to go on and have a look.
Okay, Joshua will report back on this incident in next week's episode.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay then. On that note,
it's time to play a game.
Yay! Oh shit! It's mine.
Gaming time.
Bollocks.
Yes, it is yours. You better have one. Otherwise,
1 minute. Give me.
I'll come
give me
beat you. I will
give
beat
me
you.
like 30 seconds.
I will beat him.
I've got a feeling he's gonna go get a magic box.
Oh no, he's no.
I'm not, but that would have been
For those
great.
of you unaware, this is where we go head to head and one brother hosts a game and the other two have to do it. If it's Joshua's game, it's usually annoying and rubbish, and that's why my head's currently in my hands. One time he did this thing with a box where it had stuff in it and it was really bad, and he's not told me that he wants the Zelda box crate noise, so if he does...
That's because I've got it myself.
Well, that's not allowed. The scores as it stands are me on 16 with Joshua on 8 and James on 11. And it's Joshua's turn to host, as you can tell. So I'm going to let Joshua explain his game.
Are you sure you want me to do that?
Well, we're not going to be able to explain it, are we?
It's not the box game.
Oh, good.
Basically, my game.
Is it this one? Is it this one with the clock tower from Majora's Mask? I can't remember what that was from, but we used it for something.
I don't know what that's from either.
I've got no idea.
Basically, I have 10 questions about games that have been cancelled or I've made up that could have been cancelled, when they were cancelled. I'm basically going to ask you whether or not it's real and it's been cancelled or I'm making it up. And then there is a general knowledge question around that game as well. So there's 2 points per question. And they will get passed.
What if it's false?
It's false, you say fake, and then you've got a point, dickhead.
Yeah, but no. What about the general knowledge question about the false game?
Then I've tailored the questions around it so it makes sense. We'll
just let him do his game, James. We're making it worse by being awkward about it.
Who wants to go first?
Thomas can.
Oh, thanks.
All right then.
Thanks for that privilege,
Thomas. Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 10, whatever you want to call it. The Xbox and PlayStation 3 ports, were they real and cancelled, or have I made them up?
What, an Xbox 360 port?
Xbox 360, PS3 gen ports, yeah.
I'm going to say no, they're not real.
They were real They were in production, and they were cancelled. So you've not got a point for
Lies.
that. I've got,
Lies.
but you've not got a point for that.
You're a liar.
But considering I've now told you they were cancelled, guess when they were cancelled for another point?
I can't remember when game came
2003.
out.
The new one came out last year, or was it this year?
They were cancelled in 2018.
They were cancelled in 2015, August. So Thomas gets no points for that.
Nil point.
Nil point. James.
This is just look. Yeah.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Patriots. Was it a real game and cancelled, or have I made it up?
True. Real game.
Correct. It is a real game that was cancelled.
But what is it, James?
What-
That's the next question.
What issue arose in 2013 after this game was announced in 2011?
It was deleted by accident.
It
Someone
ran
at
out of
Ubisoft
funding.
had an accident.
Oh, do you know what? Thinking about it, I think I might know when it is because of what you've just said.
So yeah, what issue arose in 2013 after this game was announced in 2011?
They ran out of funding for it.
No.
Can I have a guess?
You can have a guess, but you're not getting a point for it. So James is on 1 point.
Is it because they decided to focus Siege instead? Because Siege came out around then.
It's not. No, it's the
Yeah.
fact that Tom Clancy died and they didn't know whether or not they were going to put his name on the games anymore. So they didn't know whether or not they were going to be calling any of the Tom Clancy games anymore.
Well, they are his.
They are his, and they decided to keep it on after they cancelled Patreon.
He's gone now.
They cancelled.
I don't
Let's
mind.
They
make
cancelled
these our
Patreon.
own.
They
Let's
cancelled
just call them like
Patriots.
Jeff. Let's just call them Jeff Jones's games.
They cancelled Patriots to work on another Rainbow Six game called Siege, is what I read. And I'm like,
Ah!
yeah, I know
that
that.
would have
I
been
know
a guess
that.
then.
So James is on 1, Thomas is on 0. And my pen stopped working, so I can't
Boo.
track this. Fuck. Bollocks.
Use a dock.
But then I've got to fucking open up a new one. I'm just going to put it on main document. Fuck it.
King of being prepared. That is Joshua.
Thomas,
What?
the Office video game, is it real and cancelled for the previous gen?
Fake as fuck.
Was it cancelled for the previous gen consoles like 360, PS3?
Michael.
Or have I made it up?
That's what she said.
Michael.
There is no Office game. It's made up.
Franken beans.
It is a real game that was
Fuck off.
cancelled for that generation of consoles. It has been
Fuck off.
released, but on what platform?
Well, if it got cancelled for that generation of consoles, PC.
Yeah, it's available on
Okay,
Windows,
I'm finding
so
it
I
on
will
Steam
give you a
right
point.
now. No, I'm going to play that.
I've not looked for it on
Franken
Steam, but
beans.
it
Franken
is,
beans.
but it's 1-0 now.
Do you know what? I've been watching The Office lately. Have I said this? Have I mentioned this? Have I talked about this?
I don't know.
I've been rewatching it lately. So.
Just reminded me of that South Park episode. Where they're just like, have you heard about this? Have you seen this?
Doobity doobity da, doobity doo. What's right up to? Oh, probably nothing.
James, your question is Tekken card tournament. Is it real and cancelled or fake?
Well, considering the last 3 have been real, I'm going to say fake.
I hope it's
You are right. It's fake.
Law of
Next
averages. isn't it?
Process of elimination. They're either all real
Next
or they're all,
question
or it's a
is-
fake one.
The next question is, what is the real Tekken card game called?
What did you say this one was called?
Tekken card tournament.
Tekken card.
You got the first 2 words right.
Battle.
No, it's not. It's Tekken card
Oh.
challenge.
Can I not get 2/3 of a point for
No.
getting 2
No,
words?
you
Oh,
can't.
okay.
No. Full thing or nothing, James.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. So it's 2-1 to James anyway, so you're winning, James.
Whoop.
Thomas. Final
Is this a
Fantasy VII
penalty?
for the Nintendo 64. Real and cancelled or fake?
FF7.
For Nintendo?
64.
Oh, it's a penalty. Oh, titties. Hold on. Hold that thought.
I'm going to say yes, that was real. I'm going to say that was real,
Oh,
yes.
titties.
And it was
It was real,
cancelled
yes, you're right.
because
Yes, it was real and cancelled, so
right
that's 1
era.
point. The next question is, why was it cancelled?
It's going bottom right.
Because it was too big for the cartridges, surely. Because it was
Yeah, it would have
multi-discs.
taken more than 30 Nintendo 64 cartridges to play the game start to
30?
and the game itself required too much power, which the N64 couldn't produce, so it had a very low frame rate and shit like that.
It's going bottom right. It's going bottom right.
Okay, I'm just...
James, it's your question. Stop watching your TV.
Just give me like 10 seconds.
No. If you don't
Alright,
answer
then.
within 10 seconds, I'm skipping it.
I need
giving
the
it
question.
Thomas. When was Scalebound announced and then subsequently cancelled? 1 point for each thing.
What?
When was
Scalebound, it was an
Scalebound
Xbox
announced?
game.
What, like year?
What
Yeah,
year was it
years.
announced, and then when was it cancelled?
Unfortunately for you...
He went bottom right and scored.
Unfortunately for you, I think I know both of these, and the reason I think I know both of them is because A, we've talked about them on this podcast, and B, it was like supposed to be
it's
the
recent.
next big Xbox.
It was a good-looking
exclusive.
game.
And as soon as Joshua said, "This is all about games that have been cancelled or not cancelled," I'm like, "Scalebound's going to be in this at some point." And as soon as he said that's what his game was, I was like, "He's going to talk about Scalebound."
So what am I answering for it? The
You got to
When
give him the
was
2
Scalebound
years,
announced
the
and when was it
announcement year and
cancelled?
the cancellation year.
Announcement 2018.
Okay, so last year, yeah?
Yeah.
And,
No,
and then
it wasn't.
cancelled. When was it cancelled, James?
Well, cancelled is a separate question, so...
I can
What?
answer
No,
both.
it wasn't announced
well,
last year.
you said a point
in
for each,
2018.
I
Yeah, it's a point for each. So it wasn't announced last year, so it can't really be cancelled.
It wouldn't have been cancelled this year because I remember that.
I don't think you would, because
It
you
was
don't remember its
2017 it was
original
cancelled, I'm pretty
cancellation.
sure.
2017 is cancelled.
Yeah, that's right. So Thomas, you just helped James get 3, which makes
Okay.
it 3-all.
Did no one
It
realise
was
what
announced in
happened
2014 and cancelled in January 2017.
then? Did no one understand what just happened?
What
No.
are you about? I told you the answer.
Oh right, I'm glad you noticed because Joshua didn't.
I did notice because I just said, Thomas, you've just helped James get to 3, which makes it 3-3. I don't think you
Oh.
understood what happened, James, because you just shut your
Sorry,
ears off.
I'm trying to watch football and it's hurting.
Oh, this game's gone to
Thomas.
shit.
Thomas, the game Paragon that was out on PS4, is it now cancelled or still going?
Paragon. Oh,
It's still going. Of course it is.
I didn't know until I started researching for this quiz.
no, I'm pretty sure it got shut down because it was an Epic Games thing, and I'm sure I'd know about it on my Epic Games launch if it still existed.
You've just basically answered both questions, so
Yes.
it's now cancelled or stopped or whatever. Next one was who was responsible for shutting down the servers.
Epic Games.
You've
Well,
answered.
the guy called Steve who works in the server room at Epic. He went in there and flicked the switch.
It's now
Beach.
5-3.
Who to
Thomas
me?
got both of them. Yeah, to you. You just made it 5-3. James, Fallout Settlement for mobile. Is it a real and cancelled game or is it fake?
I'm gonna say real.
What the fuck is that?
What the
voice?
fuck is wrong with you? Are you watching another penalty or something?
Is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say real.
The funny thing is, I'm watching the same game in the background. So when James is making noises, I can see what he's making noises about. So it's funnier to me.
Did you say
Yeah,
it's real, James?
I can't remember the question anymore, but yeah, let's go with real.
Fallout Settlement mobile, real or cancelled? Real and cancelled or fake?
Real and cancelled.
It's not. It's fake. I've made it up.
I thought, hang on a minute.
It is.
Oh,
Hang
it's
on,
Fallout
Deadly
Shelter.
Squad.
I'm thinking of Fallout Shelter.
Yes, it is.
He's played you there.
I played a tricky game there, yeah. Unrelated, because I couldn't think of any other kind of question, but was there a plan to make a Fallout Online game before Fallout 76's announcement
Yes.
and release?
Yes, there
James?
was.
What was it called for a bonus point?
Wow. So he lures you in with an easy
Fallout
question.
Online.
The best part is, Thomas, he's absolutely right. It's 5-5. No.
Well, come on. Let's
called
just
Fallout
let's just
Online.
think about Bethesda games that have gone online. What's the Elder Scrolls version of MMO version called? Just think about this for a minute.
I know. But, James, in order to keep all 5 of your current points, you have to tell me why Fallout Online was cancelled.
Because Fallout 76 is a piece of shit.
But that's got
You
enough.
don't
It's
have
not
to do
linked.
that, really. You only got 1 point for that, James, just so you know. I'm not being that generous.
What?
I was lying to you.
No, you can't.
I'm sorry,
offer
James, but
bonus
I've
points
cancelled
and
your point.
But the question is, was it in development or not?
Was it real or did I make that up, James? Who knows?
I don't
think
think James ever had a point. I think you made up the point, so the cancellation of it is fake anyway because the point never existed.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got a point for guessing that it was a yes.
Okay.
Basically, that there was one, but that's it. It's 5-4 to Thomas. Thomas, it's your question. Star Wars Attack Squadrons, real and cancelled or fake?
Fake.
It's real, so
Sounds shit.
no point there.
Sounds shit.
After the beta test in North America in January 2014, how many months did it take for them to announce its cancellation?
1.
The answer is 3.
No.
Oh, no, sorry, 4 months. It was cancelled in May the same year.
Oh.
So there's no points for Thomas. James, if you get both of these next ones right, you win.
Ooh.
I'm not helping you anymore.
Was
James.
Steep the mountain sports game? I don't know. What is it?
Snowboard thing.
Snowboarding thing. Yes, snowboarding, skiing.
Yeah.
Was it due to come to Switch and cancelled, or am I making the fact that it was up?
It was due to come to Switch and cancelled.
That's your answer, yeah? That's 1 point. James makes it even.
Oh.
James makes it even.
I've
And
got a
when was
tiebreaker
it
now.
cancelled officially?
Oh.
This is where it stays even.
When did a Switch come out?
I'm not helping you in any way, shape, or form, and neither should Joshua.
Thomas.
If you're gonna win, you're gonna have to earn it. Especially considering I've already given you one of your answers. That you got
I've
right.
not got a tiebreaker, so, so be
Steve-
careful here, James. Get it right.
Steve came out like 2 years ago.
Did it?
Or was it
You
3?
sure? Oh,
And the
who
Switch
knows
came
now?
out 2 years ago. Or was
Did
it
it?
3?
Are you sure? maybe switch your thinking up a little bit there, James.
And this
You're confusing
podcast
yourself.
game started 2 years ago, or was it 3?
Or was it 3?
Or is it fake?
It's definitely getting cancelled, I'll tell you that.
I'm going to say 2018.
Oh, I think that might be too soon.
Just because...
What is he doing?
Who knows? Who won?
I think
It's
that's
me.
wrong.
James is right. It was cancelled in August
Oh.
2018
Yes!
via Twitter. James wins.
Via Twitter.
Twitter.
What a bunch of pussy.
Well, technically we draw
Exactly,
because
that's
I
why I
gave
put
him
it
one of his
on.
answers, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm past
I
caring
agree.
at this point because I
agree.
won months ago. In
I've won
fact.
12. I
Hang
think
on,
this is my
James, do you
highest
want-
win
let's,
thing yet.
let's get you some music.
Oh, please.
Enjoy. Oops.
Weirdly, I was rubbing my nipples.
It's faded out. I clicked
It
too many
honestly sounds
times.
like you just killed the person who did that then. They're just slowly falling over.
I didn't mean to do that, but James, you win, which means you are on 12. Joshua stays on 8, and I stay on 16. Oh, it's my game next week, isn't it? I best think of something. Yeah. On to the final section of the show. James, over to you, bro.
Oh shit! You're gonna have to sort of bear with me on Man United on attack.
I can see that.
Give me a second. Just
It's gonna come to nothing though. So
played it backwards. Pussy. Yeah. So wait. No, right. Okay. So
you do realise the quicker you get through the incomings, the quicker we can go watch the rest of the game.
I know, so I'm gonna just do it now.
I don't think
we
you
just
did
asked for
know
general
that.
shit and who picked what up in sales and that, didn't we? For Black
Yeah, pretty
Friday and
much.
Cyber Monday and stuff. So David Underground, moo, Faria says,
Definitely added one this week.
Yeah.
got myself a Steam controller, which I've honestly been waiting to get since they announced it. Update, this Steam controller is pretty sweet.
I just thought I'd put that in there because. So what happened is I replied to him on Twitter after he sent that tweet saying, "Oh, how have you found it? Like I've had one since launch, but I don't really use it anymore because I got the Steam Link way back when they came out with the controllers. I used to play Grim Dawn from my PC to my TV downstairs. So I asked him about it, see if it was any good." And he was like, "Oh, I've not tried it yet." And then when I went on Steam like minutes ago to see if the Office game was on Steam, I noticed a Steam message from Mr. Faria saying, "Yo, this Steam controller is pretty sweet." So I thought I'd include it in the show.
Did you find
Fair
the
enough.
Office game?
No, it's not on Steam. I found it on Wikipedia by Googling for it, but wasn't on Steam, and then I Googled it. In fact, hang on, let's try something fresh on this show. Hey, Google, where can I find the Office video game?
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Oh, well.
I'm
Doesn't
afraid I
exist.
don't understand.
Sorry,
No,
Alexa probably said
understand.
the same thing as well.
Anyway, I'm going to read the next one. Dan Smith says, I picked up a great deal for a Build-A-Bear and an air fryer. My question is, can you say a Pokemon-themed chat-up line?
I'm going to poke you in the
Would you
Clefairy.
Would you let me Squirtle in your Bulbasaur and shove an Onix up your Goldeen?
That's from this episode. That's from this, isn't it? Haven't you said that
There's
before?
something about a Squirtle. There was something about a Squirtle, but I
I
don't
swear
even know
you've
what
said
Pokemon
that
are.
before.
I don't know. No, Dan Smith once sent us a thing in where he tickled her Jigglypuffs
that might have been a
and
Clefairy or
squirtled
something.
on her Clefairy.
Maybe it's that. I'm thinking of.
Squirtle.
I know someone said that before. I don't know.
You got one, Joshua?
I'm trying to think what.
You're the Pokemon
I could use a modern
trainer amongst
Pokemon
us.
and go. Let's fuck like Grookis, because they're little chimp things.
Hey, Torchic, wanna come home and let me play with your Jigglypuffs? I'll show you my Rhyhorn if you show me yours.
I'm gonna need to run you all night long.
Yes, that's
Just
a good
please
one.
touch my Diglett.
Please don't laugh at my Caterpie.
I may only have a Weedle, but it's about how you use it.
Metapod use Harden. Yes.
Flame on! Oh, wrong
No,
thing.
wrong thing. There we go. We managed it.
I've got
Yeah.
one more.
Oh,
Lickitung.
go on then.
That's it. Just look at
That's
it. I love how most of the
Ong.
Pokemon we use are original 150, by the way, just because that's what we all know.
I wouldn't have understood anything else. Nick L says, no real great deal, sadly. Saved a few Kangas Khan on a music speaker. But also, finally, Rocket League update out. So keen to get back into that scene since being a bit shit with my gaming lately. James, can you bring me some cheese puffs too? I like cheese puffs. I actually ate a bag earlier.
I saw that thing he tagged us in the other day as well. With a giant bag of cheese puffs.
I like a Nick Earl tag. They're quite funny. And any other comments on his?
I think
Cheese
the fact that
puffs
you
are
call
a
them
good
Kangas
snack.
Khans might confuse people because it doesn't sound like Kangas which is our name for Australian dollars.
Yeah, but Joshua started that trend off, so I've got to keep it going.
I know, and I'm proud of you for remembering and doing
Yeah, but
it.
it's not the fact that you used it; it's the way you used it. Because you said Kangas Khan, and it didn't sound like Kangas, which is short for kangaroos, which is short for Australian dollars.
Kangaroos. So if I go
How
there
does that
and say,
break down?
"Can I have 3 kangaroos, please?"
ultimately, it's a unfortunately it's a low valued currency in world economics, so it doesn't matter what we call it. Really, does it?
Are you just trying to piss someone off specifically there, Thomas?
No, but if you think about it, it is a very low valued currency in terms of world economy. Like,
So is ours. Ours is going to plummet soon anyway.
yeah, it will
Wait till the
eventually.
12th.
It will eventually, but the thing is, the pound is still stronger than the euro, the dollar, and the Aussie dollar. So
Yeah.
come at
But
me.
in a few weeks' time, we will be saying, remember when games used to cost 60 quid when they were new?
Joshua,
Remember
They're
games
gonna
used to
be
cost
90
20
quid.
popular misconception. New video games have always cost £60. It's just the value of £60 to a person
Yeah, I
is
know.
different.
But we'll be saying it differently soon because we'll be saying it as in the 60 quid is now worth 90 quid.
Yeah, but it's different. That's not how it works.
I know.
They've always cost £60. Always.
I know. I
Like
know, we just
new
printed more
PlayStation
money.
1 games used to cost £50+, like what new games now do. And the only reason people don't remember that is because they were only allowed to buy platinum games because that's what their parents would allow them to go to at 20 quid a pop. Or they bought them second hand from Johnny Joysticks in Market Stop.
Johnny Joystick.
Johnny Joysticks. He's dead now.
Who also sells tobacco as well. Or did, apparently.
Great addition. That person no one who listens to this podcast knows except us three. He's dead.
I've got a feeling that there's at least one listener who'll know who Johnny Joysticks is out there. At least one.
Jeremy Clarkson's
If you know who Johnny Joysticks is and you ever bought a second-hand PlayStation 1 game from him, please do get in touch. I'd like to know. Can we read the next question?
Everyone
now?
responds now.
Broccoli Brook Archer says, if you had to get rid of one piece of gaming equipment and never use it again, what would it be and why?
Am I allowed to go buy one first to get rid of it? Because it'd be a Stadia.
Oh, snap.
Oh.
A
Well,
Kinect.
Yeah, Kinect's pretty useless these days. You can use just a normal webcam for that.
You can use an Alexa for most of what you used to use it for.
A charging dock.
A charging
Actual
dock.
piece of gaming equipment.
Yeah, but I'm
actual,
going off
it's-
what I've got right now.
A PS4 controller because they poo. Whoa, yeah, I went there.
Oh shit!
A TV in my spare room because LED's broke on it.
Can I have it?
Yeah,
My
but
TV
that doesn't
recently
count.
broke.
That's not a piece of gaming equipment. That's a telly.
Do you need a
What
TV
is it with you
to
two
game?
breaking tellies? No, you don't need a TV to
I
game.
didn't break it. Kate decided to
Oh,
put a screw in the back of the
it's
TV.
always the other half as well, isn't it? Both of you.
I promise. I promise you, right? I
Hour
was
at work.
literally
Are you
recording.
going to say hour at work and I got a text off Kate saying it's broke, just like Joshua did?
No.
I got a
was
phone call,
recording.
dickhead. I got a
Alright,
phone
I was
call
recording.
basically saying, I'm sorry, right? You're not allowed to be mad at me when you come home because I've not done this, but the TV's not working anymore. And I'm like, why? What did you do?
Well, I was recording this podcast, finished recording podcast, went downstairs for a cigarette, and Kate decides to tell me she brought the TV, and I was like, how? She's like, well, I found a screw and I thought it needed it, so I put it in the back of it.
Oh,
And I
no
sort of like-
way.
I was like, what? So
Are
I
you
went upstairs
fucking
and had a look
kidding
at
me?
it, and basically we'd just moved into this house, so I put the curtain rail up, and one of the screws like bent on me, so I put it on the window ledge and sort of left it there. And she thought that belonged in the back of the TV. So then it turned out to be my fault that the TV was then broken.
Why
Don't
did
just
you
fall out of
think?
things.
Why did she think that the TV needed the screw in it? And where
I
did she
don't
try and
know why
screw
I did.
it?
Quick question, James. Did you take
Yes.
apart your television before transporting it to this new house and then reassemble it?
Nope.
So there's no reason for a screw to go back in
Why-
that TV then.
Why did she?
I've got
think-
no idea.
Where did she put the
Because-
screw? I don't understand.
Because on the back of the TV, On the back of the
Just see it,
TV.
think I'm going to screw so hard it goes through the plastic.
No, do you know that there's holes on the back of a TV, isn't there?
Yes.
It's a Visa
like-
mount, so you can mount it.
Yeah. She put it straight through one of them. And, it's just
That must have
like,
been a big
use-
fucking screw to get all the way through and into the TV
Well,
to damage
it was a curtain rail screw, so they're quite long, so they get in the wall properly. So she's just proper gone ham on it and just kept screwing and screwing and screwing. It's come through fucking other end of TV. She's like, oops.
Oh, that's quite good. It feels like it's actually going in now. I'm just going to keep screwing. Wow, this is taking a while. Oh,
She did it whilst it was on as
shit.
well, which is the best.
How
She's
is she
watching
not
TV.
dead?
I've got no idea.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, at least you've got a nice. Depending on where it is, you've got like a nice aiming thing for COD. You know them things that we used to stick on a screen? you got one of them now.
James, you should just leave some loose screws around other parts of the house.
see what they end up in.
happens. Just see what happens.
You always tell me I've got a screw loose, so I try and put one in.
Do you know what? I was about to make a mistake, make a joke about Kate having a screw loose. That might be his episode title. She's got a screw loose.
She's going to have
I'd
to
co-
listen to this one now.
I'd come back to all sorts. It'd be a nightmare. Baby will have him in a nappy and everything. It just wouldn't stay on.
So I screwed it on.
Someone comes round to check on baby from NHS or whatever. And it's like, there's a screw on floor over there. Yeah, I know. Just watch. We'll see where it ends up.
Well, I'm going to move on to the next one anyway. Mad Madison
Okay.
says, we got a green screen, a webcam, and castle crashes. Did you guys know of stream and play with a friend? Brackets remote play. We can totally crash castles together.
This is a Steam thing, I think, from what she posted, which I did kind of half know about. PlayStation do a similar thing where you can watch somebody play a game and then take control from your PlayStation, which is pretty cool. But the lag when you're trying to take control for someone is horrendous.
It's similar to some of the stuff Mixer were trying to do, where you could spawn stuff in and control that thing.
No,
from
this is
the
actually
stream.
playing together. This is actually taking control of the game. This is basically Google Stadia 12 months ago. That's basically what it is. Because I played Spider-Man on somebody else's PS4 before I had it for myself. And you just can't do it because it involves like dodging and stuff like a lot because it's a combat game. You just couldn't play it over remote, so I just sat and watched instead. But yeah, it's an all right system, but it's definitely no good for like actually playing the game. I don't know what Steam's is like. In fairness, I haven't tried it, so I might get Madison to share me Castle Crashers and see how it goes.
How many players can you get on Castle Crashers? Is it
I think
4?
it's 4. I think it's 4 player. Yeah. So. Whether you can share it to 3 other people, I don't know, but we could try.
Well, I suppose if you're watching the stream, I would imagine you can, but
Yeah, maybe.
depends.
Maybe.
Dummy 2008, Paul Carter of the Paul Posse.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Based off last week's shittest top 100 games list, what would you choose? Or what would you all choose as your personal top 5 or top 10 of all time? Depending on how long Tom lets you ramble on before realizing you are overrunning.
Best comment ever. Just because of that last little bit. How many can we do, Thomas? How many?
Do 5 each so that I can go to bed at some point tonight.
And even played
If you
5
can even do
games.
5. James is just going to go FIFA 19, FIFA 18, FIFA 17.
I'm going to exclude FIFA and COD.
Shit.
But then I don't know what else to put in it.
Do you, right,
You've
okay.
got, like Saints Row.
Let's
but
let's
not
look at this a
all
bit
time.
differently. Let's not look at the top games ever because it is difficult to do because I put games in it that I don't necessarily go back to very often or wouldn't play a lot. So like I do agree that Breath of the Wild deserves to be quite high up on a list like that, like it was. but some of the other stuff they had up there was just fucking stupid.
Bizarre.
So let's tweak it a tiny bit and say like
Okay.
sort of your top 5 kind of go back to games that you've got the best out of it, which is I would consider makes them like your 5 top games.
I've got 2.
So for it, go on. If you've got 2, I could probably do 5 off the top of my head.
I
So-
can potentially do 5.
Oh, you do 5 then. Whilst I think.
Right.
Go
So
on, Thomas.
my examples for this would be original Spyro, because I still go back
Yeah.
and play that, and I go back and play the remastered one, the reignited thing, and I know it inside out. So that'd be one of them.
Choice.
Another one would probably be GoldenEye, just because of the nostalgia that I have for it. Even though I don't go back and play it, it's definitely up there as being like a huge game. Final Fantasy IX is another one that like I constantly go play again, or I own. It's another one of those that I own like on multiple platforms and whatever and all that stuff. I'm starting to have to close it down a little bit. Do you know what? The Medal of Honor and Medal of Honor Warfighter pairing, I'll count them as one game because they kind of follow on from each other. So I'd say like the Medal of Honor reboot across 2 games is another one that I constantly go back, and it'd be hard to narrow down to a specific Fable. I think if I had to pick one and
It's
play
Fable
just
1.
one of them, it would probably be the original. Because
my
that's
top
where it all
one.
started for me. But Fable as a series, if I can have a series, and there you go. See, was Fable? Oh yeah, Fable was in that top 100 list a couple of times, wasn't it? So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well,
I'll let
for
'em
me,
off.
I'd have Fable 1, Lost Chapters, whatever you want to call it, the full
Yeah,
version of that
yeah.
story at the top, because I've been back and played that and the anniversary
Yeah, same.
thing multiple times and know it inside out. It's just fucking awesome. Sort of forgot rest of my list because I'm now under pressure to actually read it out. The Dark.
feel
I'm
pressure,
just
Joshua.
I'm gonna pair the Darksiders trilogy together at the minute. Just
that
'cause
would be that wouldn't be a pair, that would be a group. But okay,
Yeah, well, whatever. I'm gonna put them
you
together.
can't
and just
pair
say
a trilogy
Darksiders.
unless
You
you're pairing
can,
a trilogy with
technically.
another trilogy.
You can, because the first one and second one came out together.
Doesn't matter. It's not a
A
pair because
certain
there's
pack.
3 of them.
Either way, I'd put those 3 in as number 2 because I do love those games. Fuck. I really love Halo Reach, which is why I'm planning on going back to it. already,
Halo
because
games are a good shout. Halo games,
But
definitely.
Halo Reach in particular, it kicks the entire story off, even though it came out years after it started. And I just really enjoyed the storyline of it. Even though some people say they absolutely hate it, they can go fuck themselves. Lego Racers. That's similar to your N64 GoldenEye.
Yeah,
I've not been back and played it, but I really easily fucking could, just because of how much fun we used to have doing that shit.
yeah, definitely.
And Legend of Zelda.
Which
Just
one?
any Legend of Zelda game. If I had to narrow it
Oh!
down to one, I would pick Wind Waker.
Well, do you know what I got? Just very quickly. Go on. I'll let James do his thing, and then I'll mention what I was going to mention.
Far Cry 3,
Yep.
best one. COD Zombies up until like Black Ops 2. 'Cause
Okay.
then after that, it's just shit.
I don't think that really counts, but I'll let you have it,
It
because
does.
you have a limited pool to pick from.
It does. Mafia 2, because that game would quality. What else did I have in my head before? Oh, LA Noire. I
definitely.
love that shit.
LA Noire is a good game. Very good game.
How many have I done?
That's
That's
4.
3.
Is it 3?
Oh, that's 3.
LA
What did
Noire,
you-
Mafia 2, Far Cry, and
Far Cry.
Zombies. That's 4,
Zombies.
Joshua. Learn to
Okay,
count.
it's 4, yeah.
Ooh.
Let's just think of another
Medieval.
first-person shooter James has played.
Medieval.
Oh, okay. Then.
Have you played the remaster of that yet, or have you not got it?
No,
Still
I've not got it.
PS4, I see.
Oh, not got it. You don't need a PS4. I don't
I thought
think.
it
Oh,
were,
yeah, you
I
do.
thought it were PlayStation.
Yeah, it
only.
doesn't matter. It's PlayStation only, that one. So on a very quick side note, do you remember when we talked about Nintendo game vouchers a little while ago, and I was saying I can't see the value in them. I found the value in them.
Go on.
So I was basically in terms of UK prices anyway, a new Switch game digital is about £50, like £49.99. But you can buy Switch vouchers at £85 and you get 2 game vouchers. And you can basically redeem them for any 2 games in the list at any point over the course of a year. So, like, you could buy 2 vouchers and then you could, like, wait 6 months before you claim one of them. But I was looking at, obviously, getting Pokemon Sword, and it said to me, oh, this game's available with vouchers. Do you want to buy vouchers instead of, like, buying the game? And I thought, oh, I'll have a look, see what else on the list. And the Zelda remaster... it's Link's Awakening, isn't it? The remaster.
Yeah.
The really good looking remaster is also on the thing. So I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to spend £85, which is more than I wanted to spend originally. But I want to spend that, and then I'm effectively getting Zelda for 35 quid instead of 50. And I'm like saving myself some money. So I actually found a good use purpose for them, because I remember us saying, like, unless the brand new titles that have just come out are on the vouchers, it's going to be pointless because you're spending like 40 something pounds per game. But it saved me like a tenner on each game, essentially, there, more or less.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit awkward when we have to use those vouchers for food when they take over, but we'll figure it out.
I'll save some up.
Digital food, that is.
Yeah, digital food. Digital food. So that was just my random tangent.
That's Mario for some coins.
Random tangent from Dummies thing.
Yeah, they're just going to put blocks above streets, and you've
And
got
Mario
to
and
jump
the
up
mushrooms.
in it.
Mario and Luigi are
mushrooms.
gonna become like loan sharks and that in that universe. I'm telling you.
Let's do the last one.
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry. Nats, you've been put in control to revive a dead franchise. You can do anything you want. What franchise do you pick, and what do you do with it? I'd pick Compulsion Games and fucking bin that heap of shit with Happy Few.
But it's not a dead franchise.
It is to me.
No.
Terrible choice.
Thomas, do you want to help me out with Medal of Honor?
No, you revive Medal of Honor through Danger Close, and I'll bring Fable back.
All right.
Bring
No,
Fable
that's good,
back.
because then Medal of Honor is a surprise
You've
for you,
picked
because
each
you've not
other.
been
Yeah.
involved in its development, and Fable's a surprise for me. And I know
Exactly.
Fable will be good if you make it, and you know
Yeah, and I know Medal of Honor will
good
be
if I make
all right, I guess, if you.
No,
Oh my
no,
God.
we've heard of Joshua's games in the past.
After-
We need
Right.
to be
The
very
concept will be
careful.
amazing. The execution will be wank.
No, because I wouldn't execute it. I'd make the plan for it, and I'd make the storyline, but
Okay, and then you'd hire professionals.
developers would develop it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it on
I
myself.
would.
You just
Do
know
you know
the
what?
trailer would be sick for that, and then the game would just be shit.
I want a Fable MMO. That's it. That is what I would do. I would make Fable and give it MMO aspects. Maybe not necessarily MMO like Elder Scrolls, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars MMO, but MMO maybe more like
Make it-
Destiny MMO.
Make
like
it more open world, no loading screens.
Yeah, open
and
world.
co-op 4-player.
so social areas where you can see everyone that's milling around in
Yeah.
your like subserver, and then you can like, group up and go do stuff. Basically, I would make Fable
Guild Wars.
Legends. No, I'd make Fable Legends.
Well, yeah.
Fable Legends.
Fable Legends was not a bad idea at all. I don't know
No,
why.
I'm disappointed it got cancelled, but yeah, I'd basically do that, and then we're gonna revenge Rabbit together and Mother.
Yes.
Oh, I've just ruined both games for everyone. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go watch that funeral video.
And then you're gonna cry.
In addition to that, Paul Carter did answer it and said Lost Odyssey because he's obsessed
So, yeah.
with bringing that back. And Mad Madison answered it and said Oddworld, as in.
James, what were you doing?
Yeah, thanks, James. I was waiting for you to do impressions.
Follow me.
Follow me into the outro. If you would
Okay.
like to get in touch with us, you can do so on Twitter, which is _king_thing. You can find us on Facebook by searching for That King Thing on Facebook. And you can head to thatkingthing.com, where there is links to things like our Discord community, YouTube, Patreon, and all the other things. Over the next week or so, we will be making a little call out to our Patreons. So keep yourselves in check, because we need someone to come and represent TKT in the big quiz of the year that we do at the end of the year.
See if you can
So
take down
if you are
me
a
and Matt.
Patreon and you are interested in getting involved in that, then do get in touch.
Please
via
bear in
social
mind,
platforms.
you will be my teammate, and you will
Yes.
have to deal with me. So
And
represent us in full and take it all off of me.
and please remember, somehow James and Matt are reigning champions. So
Yeah, so we need to be good.
we need somebody that can actually win the event potentially.
That's
'Cause
not me
him
and
being the
Matt.
champion. I sadly I can't be involved because I write it all. But
Unfortunately, Craig Mitchell, you have apparently been ruled out as well because you did it last year.
well, it's not necessarily ruled out. It's that he took that as his Patreon appearance instead of doing
Yeah.
Mastermind, and we've got through the Patreon list. So the idea would be is it's probably going to have to be like a draw. If everyone that wants to be
Oh my
involved
God.
puts their name in a hat, and we will draw them out.
So we're not just starting again with this and getting Jerry Narco in. No.
No,
He's got
no,
ironing
we
to
are
do.
make sure-
definitely not.
I'll
getting
go
Jerry
round to his
Narco
house.
represent this
I'll
podcast.
definitely go around and make sure all his ironing is done before we record.
Right. On that note,
I can smell
that is
smoky
it for this
bacon
week.
crisps.
So James, go watch the end of the football. I will
I already
join
am.
you, and then we can maybe watch the end of the Everton Liverpool game.
Don't play the music. Just make James make the Abe noise for a minute or so, non-stop.
Because
You
you know what you should
Everyone.
do is at the end, instead of Ezio's meow, you should do the what? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Banana.
Is it bad that I really wanted Spurs to score when the coin came, so I could go
Go! Golazo! I should really stop shouting. The baby's asleep next door.
Yeah, shut up. Good night, everyone.
Night.